Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Study with Ishant. And today I am continuing the series of solution of NEET 2026 paper. I have already uploaded the solutions for the physics section. The videos are already in my channel. You can go and watch it out. Same, I will be doing for chemistry as well. These videos will be uploading in two parts. For the first half, I would be uploading solution of 22 questions, and another 23 questions I would be uploading in the next part too. Okay, so within Sunday we will finally finish our NEET re-NEET solution series. Okay, so first of all, we're starting with these two questions which arrived firstly on your paper. So this question was firstly from the chapter coordination compound. And from coordination compound, they have asked the IUPAC name of these compound. Which compound has name of IUPAC like this? Second question is from aldehyde ketones, carboxylic acid chapter, class 12th, organic chemistry section. This question and basically based on named reactions. That's all. So first of all, you solving this question. This question is saying the formula of tetraamine aqua chlorido cobalt 3 chloride is C. Tetraamine. So tetraamine is in all of four. Aqua chlorido. Aqua chlorido. Aqua chlorido is when basically you need to remember all the rules that you have to name that you have to remember before naming of IUPAC of the compounds and coordination compounds. So aqua chlorido is arises when chloride and aqua both come in same back bracket. H2O should not be outside and chlorine should not be inside. Means this option is already cut. Aqua chlorido means H2O and Cl should be in the same bracket. See, this can be option, this can be option. Okay, we have eliminated one option. Now let us check to the all three options. Now for checking the option C, aqua chlorido cobalt, cobalt 3 chloride, cobalt 3. You need to check the oxidation state of the central metal ligand. Oh, sorry, central metal atom. CO is the central metal atom. You need to check which cobalt among these three have an oxidation state of +3. So you know how to take out the oxidation state. I think every student who has studied coordination compound they know this trick as well. You need to just assume this as X, NH3 and H2O. They are a neutral ligand. Okay, means neutral ligand charge has 0. I will be uploading the solution. I will be uploading a video where I will be telling you about the charges of these different ligands. What is a bidentate ligand, unidentate ligand, rules for IUPAC of coordination. I will be uploading this video very soon. So assuming this has X and NH3 has 4, so 0 into 4 plus this H2O plus 0 and Cl minus 1 chloride minus 2 barabar 0. So X is coming out to be +3. Means this option can be a answer. Now coming up to these two. See, for the third one, you can same do as well X plus 0 minus 3 into 0 barabar 0. X plus 0, yeah, X plus 0 plus, I'm really sorry, here it is, it's minus 3 and plus 0 barabar 0. Means here also X has +3 oxidation state. I'm sorry. And last one, for this it is X plus 0 minus 1 barabar 0, X is +2. Means this option is cancelled because cobalt has what? Oxidation state of +2 here. Means among these two, our answers would be there. So see now, aqua chlorido. Chlorido means chlorido indicates one chloride, not two or three. And chloride can be many, Cl2, Cl3, anything. Okay. In this option, H2O is with Cl3. And Cl3 you can't determine as chlorido. Chlorido means only one chloride. Okay, getting my point. And chloride means any Cl2, Cl3 that can be determined as chlorine. Means here this option is also cancelled. This option is the suitable one because here H2O is connected with only one Cl. So this can be termed as chlorido. Okay, and Cl2 so chloride and +3 oxidation state also. So this answer was correct for this question. Okay. Now coming up to the next question, you need to just have to tell the product P and you have to verify these four options. Okay, so let us do the question. This question is based on a named reaction. I will be uploading a video for an organic chemistry class 12 named reaction which is useful for your boards as well as for your JEE mains and advanced as well and for NEET also. Now see, this is the reaction where you have been given a toluene. This is a toluene and you have added CrO2 Cl2 CrO2 Cl2 in CS2. So you get a what? You get a intermediate here. If you remember the NCRT. NCRT is damn important for organic chemistry, especially for class 12. And the intermediate is OCrOHCl2 whole twice. This is the intermediate which is made in the Itard reaction. This reaction name is Itard reaction. And you add the H3O plus. This reaction we generally study in the preparation of benzaldehyde. Okay, so this is a compound P which is known as benzaldehyde. It is a very famous aromatic aldehyde. Okay, so now verifying the options. Compound P is obtained by the hydrogenation of benzyl chloride with PDBSO4. C. CH2Cl. You added what? H2PDBASO4. Can you name this reaction? Yeah, this reaction is what? Rosenmund's reaction. Rosenmund reaction is also studied in the preparation of benzaldehyde. So this option is correct. We need to tell the correct option. So first option is only answer. We don't need to check all the three, but I will be verifying you these all three options. See, second option is saying on treatment compound P with the saturated NHCO3 solution Brix effervescence is observed. See, saturated NHCO3. It generally gives Brix effervescence with the compound which is generally more acidic. And the most acidic compound can be a compound which has a carboxylic acid group attached. Benzoic acid can give Brix effervescence, but this can't give because this is less acidic than benzoic acid. It does not have that much acidic power that it can give the Brix effervescence. Means in Hindi you can call it jhag. Okay, in Hindi you can call it jhag. Is observed. Okay, so second option totally incorrect. Third option, compound P can be prepared by treating benzene with anhydrous AlCl3 with CH3COCl. Okay, this option is also incorrect because this option represents which reaction? Gattelmann-Koch reaction. Do you remember that? Gattelmann-Koch reaction in which anhydrous AlCl3 with CH3COCl, not Ci. Iodine can't. So means third option is also incorrect. Fourth option, on treatment with bromine water, compound P gives white PPT. If you treat it with Br2 water, it does not react with Br2 water. Because Br2 water generally what it do? You treat phenol with Br2 water. What it does? Br generally attach as the ortho and para positions respectively because the OH group is there. Okay, so it goes on to the resonance. It goes on resonance means this is the acidic one. Okay, and aldehyde is less acidic. And if Br is attacked on this aldehyde, then it also affects its stability. Okay, it affects its stability because it is C double bond OH. Only one acidic hydrogen is there, and also this C double bond O group, which does not allow bromine to attach to any position of the benzene. Okay, so this option is also incorrect. It does not react with Br2 water. Yeah? Okay, so it doesn't give white PPT. Okay, so correct option is 1. So this was these two questions, and let us move on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. Next three questions are for the chemistry section. Are first one is from the chapter D and F block elements. Second one is from the chapter P block, and third one is from chapter kinetics. Okay, so two questions from inorganic, one question from physical. Let us solve the inorganic portion first. The lanthanide that are having 4 unpaired electron is. You need to tell which lanthanide is having 4 unpaired electrons among cerium, thallium, terbium, and holmium. Means Ce, Nd, To, Tb, and Ho. Okay, and the oxidation states are +3. So you need to remember the electronic configuration of all these elements. Okay, first of all, you starting with Ho. What is the electronic configuration of Ho? So electronic configuration of Ho is xenon 4f11 6s2. Okay, for Nd, so it will be xenon 54 4f4 6s2. Okay, for cerium it is xenon 4f1 5d1 6s2. Okay, for Tb it is xenon 4f4 6s2. These are the electron configurations. Now +3 in all the. Okay, so for it's +3. Okay, you will remove the electrons from the outer portion, so it will become what? It will become 4f10. Yes, only 4f10. This will become 4f3, and this will become 4f1, and this will become 4f3. Clear? Now, which of these or following will have 4 unpaired electrons? You need to draw the f orbital here. So if I am drawing f orbital here, so f orbital is like this. It has 7 nodules. Okay, so 4f10. Okay, so filling the electrons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this 10. Now, if I see here, then 4 unpaired electrons are there. So means HO plus 3 is the correct option for this question. Okay, so first one, answer is first. Okay, now moving on to the second, the green paramagnetic species formed by the heating of KMnO4 at 513 Kelvin. This question is this reaction is in the NCERT of P block. Okay, P block is generally a deleted chapter in JEE mains, but yeah, in advanced and even in JEE mains, some questions are asked from P block section. So you need to heat the KMnO4. Okay, so this is KMnO4. You will heat it at 513 Kelvin. So what it will form? It will form, if you remember, K2MnO4 plus MnO2 plus O2. Okay, balancing the reaction, you need to add 2 here. 513 Kelvin heat. So this is the green paramagnetic. This is what? This is the green paramagnetic species that is formed, K2MnO4. So option number second is the answer for question number 50. Moving on to last question, question number 49. Okay, this is a physical chemistry kinetics chapter. Okay, this is also very easy question. Basically formula based. Now see, here it is saying for an elementary chemical reaction, the Arrhenius plot is given by, this is the Arrhenius plot, lnk versus 1 by t. If the energy of activation 6.64 kilojoule mole inverse and R is 8.3, then the temperature at which the rate constant becomes E square is. Simple question. You know the Arrhenius equation. It is what? It is K is equals to A e की power minus EA by RT. You can take the natural log both the sides. So ln K is equals to ln A minus EA upon 2 upon RT. I mean, sorry. Now if you see the graph between ln K and 1 by T, the slope is negative and the intercept is ln A. What is the intercept? This y1. And how much is this y? This y is 2, 4, 6. Means 6. Means here ln A is what? 6. And it's saying that the rate constant should become E square. Means ln K should be equal to ln E square. That is what? 2. And natural log E is 2. natural log E is 1 and 2 will come forward by the log property, and EA is what? It is in kilojoules, 6.64 kilojoule, convert it in joule, multiply by 10 to the power 3, 6.64 into 10 to the power 3, this gone, so it will become 6640 joule. Okay, and R is 8.3, R is 8.3. You will substitute all this in this equation. Okay, so let me do it. So here now ln k is what? Ln k is 2 and ln is 6 minus 6640 upon 830 into t. Okay, so this will be what? 66400 upon 83, t is equals to 4. Okay, so 2 okay, it will be what? 16100 is equals to 83t. 16100 upon 83 is equals to t. Okay, now you will calculate this. I think temperature will come roughly around 200 Kelvin if you solve this. Okay, let me do it in the calculator first. If I take the calculator, then 16100 divided by 83, it is 193.97. 193.97 means roughly 200 Kelvin. It means its answer is 200 Kelvin. Option number 4. Okay, so these are 3 questions. Now moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next 2 questions. Now these 2 questions are the, you can say, the tricky question of the paper, because this question is from the chapter halogen halogen, and this question is from the chapter redox reaction. Okay, now see this chapter question. So this question is saying this is the reaction of Grignard, and frequently whenever NT asks the paper of organic chemistry, they generally ask about the Grignard reagent. So this question based on it, reaction of Grignard with the amines. So reading the question is saying we have to tell the major product. Okay, first of all, solving the question. So see here, this is the reagent. This is Grignard, and this is what? This is pH NH2. This is what? This is not a benzene ring, it's a cyclohexane. Okay, benzene ring has conjugated double bonds and a amine group attached here. So, if you remember a reaction, whenever we react Grignard reagent with a amine, what R dash, assuming NH2, then what does this product form? It forms what? R dash H, sorry, RH plus R dash NH MgX. This is the basic reaction whenever you treat Grignard with a any amine. Okay, any amine. This is what? This is a 2-degree amine. 2-degree amine. Okay, so we will be same copying this reaction. So see, this is what reaction. This is the hexane, cyclohexane MgBr, and plus this is NH2. So now see here, what is the nucleophile here? In this R is minus and MgX is plus. So this will be attacked here like this, and the product that will be formed is a cyclohexane ring, and the byproduct which would be formed is that what? This is this one, NHMgBr. This is the byproduct which is formed, but we have to tell the major product, that is a cyclohexane. So option number 1 is correct. Simple. Many students who doesn't remember the mechanism of the Grignard reagent, they can also take this option, but this is a totally wrong option. No conjugated double bond, so you cannot put one other ring in this amine group. Okay, you just have to remember this one reaction. Where this is the byproduct formed and this is the major product. Here, moving on to next question. This question is from the chapter redox reaction. So question is saying heating NaCl with concentrated H2SO4 and MnO2 results in the oxidation of Mn. And statement 2, heating NaI with the concentrated H2SO4 and MnO2 results in reduction of Mn. We have to tell which statement is correct and which is incorrect. So you need to remember the reaction here. If I write the reaction for both, let me change the pen. Okay. For statement 1, if I write the reaction, heating sodium chloride with H2SO4 and MnO2. So what would be the reaction here? NaCl, which would be reacted with H2SO4 and MnO2. This reaction, what would the byproduct form? C. It is Na2SO4 and H2O, MnSO4 and Cl2. If I balance this reaction, then Na2. So 2 NaCl here, and hydrogen is what? Here is 4. So we need to balance here. So this is what? Plus 2. So here 2. So here also 2. And MnO2, Na2SO4, and all these are balanced. Okay. Now it is saying we have to tell the variable oxidation state of Mn. So here in MnO2, what is the oxidation state of Mn? Can you take it out? Very easy. See, here MnO2 has the oxidation state of +4. How? Assume the oxidation state of Mn as X, and what is the oxidation state of O2? -2. So -2 and 2 oxygen will be equal to 0, means X is equals to +4. This is the oxidation state of MnO2. Okay, oxidation state of Mn. I'm sorry, in MnO2. Now we have to tell the product which is formed, MnSO4. What is the oxidation state of Mn here? If I assume Mn as X, then what would be the oxidation state of Mn? So there will be what? X. Sulfur oxidation state. Sulfur is in the free state, so +6. +6, and here also what? -8. -8 बराबर 0, means X is equals to +2. Means here Mn is +2. Oxidation number is reducing, means in this reaction Mn is reduced. It is saying oxidized, means statement 1 is false. Now you have to tell with NaI. You don't have to change anything. You have to just change chlorine with iodine, and all of the thing will be same. Here I2 will be released as a byproduct. Same thing, same oxidation state. Okay, here reduced, so this statement is true. Means statement 1 is false and statement 2 is correct, with option number 1 is the answer for the question number 53. Okay, so these two questions we have solved. Now moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. Next question is also from the part of organic chemistry, and this is from the topic isomerism. The last portion, which was not in the part of syllabus, Newman projection. Okay, in the staggered and the eclipsed form. This was not a part of syllabus, but they have asked a question in it, and very good questions are made upon this. Okay, the question is saying two statements are given. Trans-butene upon treatment with Br2 and CCl4 gives following product. This one. And statement 2, cis-butene upon treatment with alkaline KMnO4 gives this product. Okay. Now first, statement number 1. Statement number 1, if you see, trans-butene means the compound would be like this, C double bond C, and trans means like atoms are at an angle of 180 degree. CH3, CH3, hydrogen, hydrogen. This is what? This is trans-butene. Now, upon addition of the Br2CCl4. Br2CCl4. You know Br2CCl4, whenever you add upon this, it is what? It is anti. Anti addition is done here, means bromine is added to the opposite sides of the of this compound. Okay, meso product is formed, if you remember. Okay, so here also we will do this only. CH3, Br, H, and this is what? H, Br, CH3. Now this is the product. If I made meso of this, so what would be the meso product? CH3, HBr, HBr, and CH3. Okay, but this is the anti-product, so one atom from hydrogen or bromine, this will be interchanged, means Br and H. This will be the final product that would be formed. Means we need to draw the what? We need to draw the eclipsed form of this compound. Come on, we can make it. It is very easy. If you don't know, I can teach you. See, for the first carbon, you can make one circle like this. Now you can add the all the atoms here. Okay, so bromine is on the top, and this is what? This is CH3, and this is H. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's downwards. So this is what? This is CH3, and this is H. Now for the last atom, if you see, then you would be adding these atoms as well. So here, if I see, so CH3 is here. Uh, Wait a second, Br here, CH3 and H. Okay. So here, if I see, so Br and H are interchanged. Okay. So CH3 will be here and hydrogen will be here. Okay. If I rotate this, at an angle, okay, if I rotate this one, if I rotate this, then this compound will be made like this only. This is Br, CH3, and this will be rotated. So here also Br is there. So Br here and hydrogen will be here. If I rotated this H, then CH3 will be here, and here CH3, H, and Br. Okay, this is the product, but you can't rotate it like this. Okay, if I rotate this, then we get this, but rotation cannot be held here because this is what? This is the eclipsed form. Okay, so here if I see this, then this is the final product that is formed, and this is not matching with the above option. If I see this, then no, the option is not matching. Me, CH3, CH3, no. Okay, so this option is totally wrong. Okay, so the statement number one is false. Statement number one is false. Now coming on to statement number two. So statement number two, if I see, so statement number two, cis butene upon treatment. Okay, so cis is what? Cis is like this. Hydrogen, CH3, hydrogen, CH3. Alkaline, KMNO4. This is what? This is that was anti, and this will be what? This will be the same OH will be added on the same side. Okay, so C, OH, and CH3 and hydrogen, and OH, H, and CH3. Here also meso product is formed. Now if I draw the eclipse form of this, then first of all here OH, then OH, then H, then CH3, OH, H, CH3, and for the last one, if I see OH, but first you need to what? You need to draw the staggered form here because like atoms are added on the same side. So here this will be what? Here this will be OH, and here this is hydrogen and CH3. Here we can rotate this because it is what? The same atoms are added on the same side. So if I rotate this atom like this in this direction, so here this will be like OH, H, Me, and OH, H and Me. So this is the correct option, means option number 2 is true. So statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Option number 1 is the answer. Okay. So this was the question. Moving on to the next question. Moving ahead, now we have three questions with us. Okay, so first question is from the chapter periodic table, periodic elements. Okay, second one is from the chapter biomolecules, and third one is from the chapter coordination compounds again. Okay, previous video we have solved one more question of coordination compound, and many questions exist in this paper of coordination compound, means coordination chemistry has a great weightage in this paper. First question, among the following options, the correct trend of electron gain enthalpy. This question is based on a memory. What is the general electron gain enthalpy for a halogen? It is what? It is chlorine has the highest electron gain enthalpy. So chlorine has highest, only one option is the option number 4. Chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Iodine, why? Because iodine's size is very much greater. In terms of size, iodine is very big. So it cannot embed more electrons in it. And in terms of size, chlorine is a very less and it's more electronegative, so it can attract more electrons towards it. Okay. So this was the concept, and fourth option was answered. You just have to take and move further. Next question is from the chapter biomolecules. The correct statement you have to tell. First question, in alpha helix, the polypeptide chain is twisted into a left-hand side through intermolecular hydrogen bond. Okay. Second is tertiary structure of proteins have two or more polypeptide subunits. Only the proteins that have a quaternary structure are biologically active. In beta-pleated sheet structure, peptide chains are held together by intermolecular hydrogen bonds. Here, option number 4 is correct, because in beta pleated sheets all the atoms are, means they are spreaded up like the sheets, and towards together they are held up by intermolecular hydrogen bond, means this option is only correct, otherwise option are wrong. Okay, this was also from the NCERT line, biomolecules NCERT, you have to read for this, and this statement is written in that. Okay, moving on to next question. Coordination chemistry, we have to choose which statement is correct. First one, FeOX3 3 minus is chiral, means ferrioxylate ion. So let me draw the diagram for this. If I draw, so this is ferrioxylate, and this is O, this is oxalate, and this is also oxalate. Okay, and this will be double bond O, because ferrioxylate ion is existing here. Okay, and double bond O, and here double bond O. So if I see, then in ferrioxylate ion, the plane of symmetry doesn't exist. In ferrioxylate ion, the plane of symmetry do not exist. So if plane of symmetry is not there, plane of symmetry is not there. So means this is not chiral carbon. Means this is not chiral atom. So first one statement is false. Second statement, trans CrH2O whole twice and oxalate 2 minus is chiral. Let us see the second one. So second one is saying trans. Trans means atoms are at 180 degrees. So this is what? This is for H2O, H2O, and oxalate 2 ions are there. This is oxalate, and if you see if I draw line from here, then both the atoms exist, means here same atoms are there on the both side, means plane of symmetry exists here, means it is non-chiral. So this is what this is false. Okay, first statement was correct, sorry, that was chiral. Okay, and this is non-chiral. So for statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect, option number 4. Okay, so these are the questions. Moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. Next question is also from the organic chemistry section. Question is saying given below are two statements. Two statements are given below. We need to tell which statement is correct, which statement is wrong. Statement number one says that oxidation of para-nitrotoluene with acetic KMnO4 gives an acid that is stronger than benzoic acid. Okay, so first of all, solving the statement number one. So statement number one is saying that the reaction of para-nitrotoluene. Okay, so this is the structure of para-nitrotoluene. This is the structure of para-nitrotoluene and reaction of this with acetic KMnO4. Okay, so acetic KMnO4. Okay, so this will be what the CH3, the toluene, this methyl group will be oxidized to the carboxylic group. This is the basic function COOH and NO2. It is saying it is stronger acid than the benzoic acid. Obviously, why? What is benzoic acid? Benzoic acid is this. See, the rate of acidic strength is directly proportional to the substituent. Do you remember this? Because NO2 is an electron withdrawing group, so it will keep on gaining or retaining its electron. So the electrons will be lost, and which will result in the increase in the acidic strength of this whole compound. Here only COOH is there, but here an electron withdrawing group is attached. Means it will inert its effect of the electron. It will take its electron towards himself. So this will make this compound more acidic than benzoic acid. Okay, so first statement is totally true. First statement is what? True. Coming on the second, reduction of para-nitrotoluene with SnHCl followed by neutralization gives an amine that is more basic than aniline. Okay, para-nitrotoluene again. Now statement number two. So para-nitrotoluene now reduction of with SnHCl. So SnHCl generally CH3 and NH2. This is the compound that is formed, and it is saying it is more basic than what? Aniline. Obviously, this statement is also true because basic strength is directly proportional to the what? To the substituent which is attached to the ring. Okay. If electron withdrawing group was attached there, then it will retain its electron. Okay, and this NH2, this NH2 will create the less basicity of the overall compound. Okay, and here NH2 is only there. Why? Because see, this NH2 is in conjugation with the ring. So if this is in conjugation, means this is a acidic group than this one. But here a CH3 group, electron donating group is attached. So if this NH2 retains, if this NH2 do the resonance with this ring, so it will create acidic strength. It will increase the acidic strength, but this CH3 will continuously giving up its electron because it is the electron donating group. So this will balance the acidic and neutric strength, and overall this compound will be more basic than this one. Okay, this is the basic concept. Every time you will see an electron donating group in any ring or NH2 or this, so this will be more basic. And if you say electron withdrawing group in an acidic group, then that compound is more acidic. This is the basic concept. Okay, so this statement is also true. Means both the statements are true. Which option is correct? Option number second is correct for this question. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. Next question also from the organic chemistry section, and this is on the chapter amines. Okay. Question is saying we have been given four reactions, and we need to tell which of the reaction gives aniline as a major product. So you know the compound aniline looks like this. Okay, so which will give this major product we will see. So first reaction, it is saying that cyanobenzene is reacted with LiNH4, which lithium aluminum hydride. So it is a reducing agent, strong reducing agent. So this will reduce it into CH2 NH2 benzylamine. Okay, this is the compound, but this is not aniline. So A option is not the answer. Means wherever A option is there, that answer would not be our answer. So means option number 2 and 4 are cancelled. Okay. Now second reaction, Reaction of amide with KHBr2. This is what the Hoffman bromide degradation reaction. It gives aniline as the major product. Means option number B is our answer. So B option are here. If you see option number B is answer. And if we see the third one, so third one is saying reaction of nitrobenzene with NaBH4, sodium borohydride. Many students make a very common mistake here. They just they just get confused that NaBH4 will reduce the nitrobenzene to aniline, but no. This is a very mild reducing agent. It can't reduce the strong nitrobenzene to NH2. Okay, it is a very strong reducing agent. But yeah, LiLH4 can reduce this to NH2. Okay, NaBH4 is generally used for the ketones or aldehydes. Okay, and this is used for almost all the functional groups for the reduction. Okay, so no reaction would take place here. And last but not the least, HCl H2O. It will what? It will take off this ketonic group. Take off this ketonic group with itself and add a H here. So this will result in aniline. Means option number B and D are our correct answer. Means option number 3 is the correct answer for this question. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. The next question is from the topic thermodynamics, and the question is saying 2 moles of an ideal gas undergoes free expansion from 10 liters to 100 liters at 300 Kelvin. Okay, we need to tell the entropy value of system and the surrounding. Okay, this is a free expansion. Okay, so first of all, we will be finding the entropy of system. So we know that formula for entropy is what? N R ln V final by V initial. This is the only formula. Now, if you substitute the values, 2 moles, 2 into R, this is natural log, so multiply it by 2.303 into log. V final is what? 100, 100 by 10, 100 by 10, this is log to the base 10, 10, this is 1. Okay, so this will be what? 2.303 into 3, this will be 4.606 R. 4.606 R. This is the value for what? Entropy of system. Now, very common misconception which generally students do is they know that in an system, whenever we do delta S for system plus delta S of surrounding is 0. So many students might have done this mistake. They will say that yeah, delta S of system is this and delta S of surrounding should be opposite the sign. Sum of both should be 0. So they have might be take the answer 3 as the correct option, but no, this is not the correct option. Why? Because this is not applicable here. This condition is not for free expansion. For free expansion is what? If we have done the free expansion, means we created a vacuum around the surrounding, and if we have created a vacuum around the surrounding, then the entropy of the surrounding would be what? 0 only. Why 0? Because there is a vacuum, and entropy is the random motion of the gas particles. Okay, random motion of the gas particles in any system is the what? Is the entropy. It is only a definition. But we have created a vacuum. So if we have created a vacuum, then there will be no motion of the gas particles. Mean delta S for the surrounding would be 0. Okay, this was the main thing you have to see. Free expansion. So free expansion, delta S of surrounding will be 0, and delta S of system is 4.606 R, which is corresponding option number 1. Clear? So this was the question. Now moving on to the next question. Okay. So let us move to the next question. The next question is also from the organic chemistry section, and this question is from the chapter aldehyde, ketone, and carboxylic acid, class 2. And this question is based on a very famous reaction, aldol condensation. Okay. So here we have been given two compounds to which we have to react with NaOH and heat. Okay. Basically, the reagents which are used in the aldol condensation is NaOH and heat. NaOH dissociates into Na plus and OH minus ion. OH minus ion acts as a you can say Lewis base, which takes the acidic proton from this compound. Okay. So first of all, you need to tell if we react these two compounds, then which of the products are not possible. Okay, here only one product is there that would be not be possible. Okay, so see, these two compounds are there. So you know, if you have to do aldol, I will be I will tell you a very famous trick for the aldol condensation reaction. Okay, in another video. But here, let us see. First of all, this compound. Let me change. First of all, this compound, uh, like this. This is double bond O, and this is methyl and methyl. Okay, okay, and now you have to react it with what benzaldehyde. So NaOH, OH minus, NaOH and heat. So here if you see, then with respect to this ketone, this is alpha. Okay, here zero alpha H is present, but here one alpha H is here. Okay, and this alpha H is more acidic than the alpha H of this. But benzaldehyde doesn't have any alpha H with it. It doesn't have any alpha H, so it will take alpha H from this only. Okay, and it is more acidic than this alpha H. Okay, if there would be any hydrogen in this compound, then DI, but the more acidic would be of the ketone. Okay, so now if you see OH minus ion, here OH minus ion will come and it will take this acidic hydrogen. Okay, this will create this compound a nucleophile. Okay, so now this will be converted into a what? Nucleophile, double bond O, here minus sign because loss of electron. This is methyl and methyl. Now react this with benzaldehyde. What is benzaldehyde? It is PH C double bond O H. Now this will act as a nucleophile and this will attack to this carbonyl group and the shifting would be happen. Okay. So the final compound that would be formed is this is methyl methyl double bond O, and if you see, then this is CH2. Okay, this is CH2, or you can say it like this, CH2, and this is pH, and this is OH. Okay, here we have also done the hydrogenation, means we have also added the H2O to neutralize the proton, because here what will be formed, here O minus will be formed, so adding H2O, it will convert this into the alcohol. Clear? Now here one more reagent is there, heating. Generally what heating does is they generally remove or they eliminate the water molecule. Okay, so now if you heat this compound, you will be heating and removing the H2O. Okay, so here one H is here. Okay, so we can remove the water from here. So this H2O molecule, will be uh, eliminated, and the final compound that will be formed is this double bond O, methyl, and this pH, and this. This is the final compound that is formed. If you see the option, then pH can be erected also and inverted also. Okay, both the configurations are possible in this. Okay, because it doesn't affect the stability, and it has also the also has no effect to its acidic strength also. Methyl and methyl. These two compounds can be possible, because you can just show pH like this also, this also, both are same. So means these two options are possible, means they are not are. And these two products have been derived with the aldol condensation between two different compounds. This compound can go self-aldol also. Benzaldehyde can't go self-aldol. Why? Because no alpha H is present in benzaldehyde. Here, if you see, it can go to self-aldol also. Okay, and these two products will be made by the self-aldol of this. Okay, so now we can just do the self-aldol of this compound. Okay, now see here, if you see, this is the compound. Same trick. Okay, the OH mass sign will come and this will create a nucleophile. Okay, so this will be like this, and also now this time this will be react by its own molecule, methyl, methyl. Okay, yeah. Now this will go to this carbon, and this shifting will happen. Okay, and the final product that will be formed is, if you see, this compound is like this, double bond O, and this because it is inverted. It is inverted and here it is like this. This methyl group. Okay, and if you see here O minus ion will be there. Okay, so O minus ion will be attacking to this side, and this is what O minus ion. Okay, now if you know, here also we have added the what here also we have added the H2O, so this will convert into OH. Okay, now if you see this compound, then again you have to do what? You have to do the hydration. Means you have to dehydrate the water. So I'm rubbing this side. Okay, for the next one. Now see, this compound is formed. Now this is double bond O methyl methyl, and this will be like this. This is methyl and methyl. Okay, and here is what OH. Now you can cross check the product if you are having any doubt. So see, I have done what? I have done the reaction here. Okay, here we have attacked in the carbonyl group. Now if we attack here in the carbonyl group, then what compound will be formed? Then here if you see, this is like this O minus, and with this attach the second carbon. So the this whole compound is attached with it. Okay, this whole compound is attached with it, and it will be like Me, and this is what? Methyl and methyl. So same product is formed. Okay, you can just what? You can just invert this product. Okay, you can just what? Invert this product. Now you can see double bond O is also there. I'm really sorry. Now, if you see, then you can eliminate the hydrogens from here. Eliminate the water. Okay, so now you can eliminate H2. H2 if you eliminate, then the product that would be formed is methyl, methyl, and this will be double bond. This is methyl and methyl. Means this product will be formed. Okay, so this product will be formed, and this product will not be formed. So option number second is the answer for this question. Okay, you can also do it like this. See, from here if we count the number of alpha, so how many alpha is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 alpha here. Okay, and from here if I count 1, 2, 3. Okay, here only 3 alpha H. So this is the less product, means this is the minor product and this is the major product. The major product is always formed in the adult condensation. So this will be formed and this will not be formed. So this will be answer option number 6. Okay, this was a good question. Okay, you need to have a good concept of adult condensation. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Okay guys, let us move on to the next questions. Question number 61, 62 and 63. Question number 61 is again from the chapter coordination compound. 62 is from the mole concept chapter basic significant figures, and 63 is from the chapter mole concept. Okay, so come on, let us solve the question number 61. The compound which has facial and meridional isomerism means both cis and trans and DNL. Okay, and here compounds are like this. I will tell you a basic trick. Every time if you have the question where you to tell facial and meridional isomerism, so every time see a compound which is of type this C M A3 and B3. This type of compound generally so facial and meridional isomerism. This is a trick you need to remember this. You can solve the question by seconds. So you can see which compound is like this. 3 3 option number 2 is the answer. Clear? It exists in the facial and meridianal, means cis and trans both are possible for this compound. Okay, for this coordination compound. Okay, let us move on to next question. The numbers 17.015 and 21.0235 were round off to the three figures after the decimal points. The resulting numbers are respectively. Okay, you need to round off. Okay, so if you see the last digit here, it is 5. Here also last digit is 5. If you see the previous number here, so here this is 4 and here this is 3. If you see, then the number here 4 is what? Even, and here number 3 is what? Odd. So according to the significant figure rule, if their number is even before the 5, so no change would be there, so round off would be 17.0145 only. And if the odd number is there, so you can do plus 1 to the before number, so means 17.014 and 21.024, means option number 4 is the answer for this. Simple. Last question, if you see, you have to tell how much amount of carbon dioxide would be involved if you do the combustion of N-butane. So what is the formula for N-butane? It is C4H10. This is the formula. Okay. Now you have to do combustion, means heat it with oxygen. So it will revolve carbon dioxide and water. You can balance the reaction. 4 here and hydrogen are 10, so 5, and total oxygen 13. So means you have to balance, so 13 by 2. So this is the final reaction. Okay, you need to tell what is the amount of CO2 formed. Okay, if you see here, 116 gram of N-butane is used. Means the number of moles would be same only. Okay, so number of moles. If you take out the number of moles of butane, so it will what? Given mass upon molar mass. This was given mass upon molar mass. What is the molar mass of C4H10? You can take it out. 12 into 4 plus 10, 48. 48 and 10, 58. Okay, so number of moles is coming out to be 2. Means same number of mole would be of CO2 only. Okay, so amount would be what? The mass. Assuming that the mass, we need to take out the mass of CO2. So that would be what? Number of moles into the molar mass of CO2. Molar mass of CO2 into the number of moles initially, which is 2. So just substitute how many moles of CO2 are there? 4. What is the molar mass of CO2? 44. And how multiplied by 2, you will get your answer 352 grams. Instead of 2 grams of CO2 is formed here in option number 2. Clear? Now these were the questions. Now moving on to the next questions. Going further, next question is from question number 64 and 65. 64 is from the chapter atomic structure and 65 is from the chapter what? Chapter GOC. Okay. Now see. First of all, this question, consider the following schematic plots of orbital wave function. We need to tell which represents the two radial nodes in the orbitals. Generally, for doing this type of question, you just need to see which of this graph is cutting the x-axis 2 times. Which is cutting? This is cutting 2 times. Means this has 2 radial nodes. Means option number C is the answer. Means option number 4. Simple. 2 seconds question. It was very easy. Okay. Moving on to the next question. 65. The following carbocation is stabilized by the interaction of the empty p orbital with. Okay. If you see this carbocation, this is what? This is 2-degree carbocation. If you see. Okay. Now, this is a stable carbocation. Why? Because resonance is occurring here. Okay. And if you draw this carbocation, then you can see that here carbon has 3 hydrogens, and this here is the positive charge, and this is the p orbital of this carbon. Okay. Now here this positive charge tend to resonance with this red. Means this carbocation is stabilized due to the resonance, and it is going into the filled pi orbital. Okay, into the filled pi orbital due to the resonance of this pi bond. Okay, so due to the resonance of pi bond, it is going into the filled pi orbital. And if you see here, 3 hydrogens are here. So now this 3 hydrogen is stabilizing this carbocation with the hyperconjugation. Getting my point? Due to the hyperconjugation, so this that hyperconjugation will be go towards what? Filled. It was going to filled pi, and it will go to filled what? Sigma orbital. Okay, filled sigma orbital. Because due to the hyperconjugation, these three hydrogen will be stabilized and it will go into the sigma orbital of this carbon. Okay, so filled pi orbital and filled sigma orbital is the answer. Filled sigma and filled pi means option number second is the answer for this question. Okay, both the questions are really easy. This was in this question you need to have a basic concept of resonance and hyperconjugation. Okay, so moving on to the next questions. Okay, friends, moving on to the next question. Question number 66, 67, 60. Again, question 66 on the chapter coordination compound. See, coordination compound, you have to do it very on the priority basis. Okay, because coordination compound has a huge weightage in this NEET 2026 paper. You can see question is saying a 1 is to 3 electrolyte in which aqueous form is formed. Very easy question. Uh, you need to see which compound is 1 is to 3. So this will not dissociate, this will dissociate in 1 is to 1 ratio, this will dissociate in 1 is to 2 ratio, 1 is to 1 ratio, this is 1 is to 3 ratio. Because one complex, this whole complex will be formed and other with 3 chlorine. So 1 is to 3 ratio. Okay, so fourth is the answer. Next, first of all, let us solve question 68. In potash atom, the ratio of K plus and SO4 to minus. Now this is a very good question. I will not say good question, very easy question, but it is based upon your memory. Okay, we need to remember the formula of potassium. What is potassium formula? It is K2SO4. K2SO4 dot Al2SO4 whole thrice dot 24H2. This is the formula for potassium. Okay. Fitkiri also it is known as. Okay. So this is the in Hindi you say it. This is potassium due to say ratio of K plus and SO4 to minus ions. How many K ions are there? K plus ions are 2 and SO4 to minus ions are what? 3 plus 1 4. So the ratio will be 2 by 4 is 1 is to 2 by ratio. Here it will be formed. Option number second is the answer. Now moving on to the question number 67 from the chapter electrochemistry. Okay, so we will solve this question. So I am erasing the question number 68 for the space purpose. Now let us see this question. It is saying you have been given the standard electron potential for the half cell reaction. So you need to tell the E naught value for this reaction given that E naught for Fe3 plus is this, Fe2 plus is this. These types of questions are generally teacher give you in the class only because it is a very simple question. See, if you don't know how to solve it, see here. See, first of all, Fe3 plus ion is there. It will dissociate into Fe2 plus. If you reduce it, then it will reduce into Fe. Okay, first of all, draw this thing. Now you have been given E naught value from Fe3 plus to Fe. So here, assuming that the E naught value 1, it is minus 0.04 volts. Second one for Fe2 plus to Fe, here assuming that E naught value is E naught 2, so it is minus of 0.44 volts. Okay, you need to tell for this reaction. So see, every time you do this type of question, you need to remember that you never add or subtract the E naught values. You always subtract their standard Gibbs free energy because it is an extensive property. It can be added, subtracted as well. E naught can't be subtracted or added. It is a concept. Okay. So assume that the value for this is delta G1. Okay. So it is delta G1 and assume that the value for this is delta G2 and for the reaction, what is the reaction? Fe3 plus electron gives Fe2 plus. So for this assume delta G3. Okay. Now see. Here the first reaction delta G1 will be equal to the second reaction delta G2 plus delta G3. Okay. Standard Gibbs energy, I'm sorry, delta G0. What is the formula for standard Gibbs energy? Delta G0 is minus NF E0 of cell. This is the formula. Just substitute here for this. It will be what? Minus of N1 F E01 and for this will be minus N2 F E02 and for this will be minus n3f e naught 3. So minus sign and f, minus sign and f, minus sign and f will be cancelled here. We need to tell for delta G3. So delta also E naught 3 you need to tell. So this will be what? It will be E naught 3 formula came out to be it will be N1 E naught 1 minus N2 E naught 2 upon N3. Just substitute the values here. What is N1 for this reaction N1? How many electrons are lost? 3 plus 2 1. So here if you see N1 is 3 and what is N2? N2 is 2 and what is N3? N3 is 1. Means N3 is 1. So N1. So it will be what? N1 will be 3 into E naught 1. E naught 1 is minus 0.04 and minus. For second, it will be minus minus plus 2 into 0.44 by 1. So from this, your E naught 3 will come out to be what? It would be 0.88 minus 0.12, that is 0.76 volts. This is your final answer, which is your option number 3 plus का. Okay, so this is the answer. Simple question, you just have to practice for this and you have to remember the concept always. Whenever you have to tell the E naught value for any reaction or any substituent, you have to always add and subtract their Gibbs standard, Gibbs free energy. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Moving next question. Next question is from the chapter solutions. We need to tell which statement is correct. So let us read the first statement. An ideal solution thus formed obeys Raoult's law throughout the composition range. It is saying that an ideal solution, it obeys Raoult's law throughout the solution. Yeah, this is a very true statement because ideal solution is only the any solution is called ideal solution when it obeys Raoult's law. Okay, it is the condition whenever an ideal solution is called ideal solution, it must obey Raoult's law. Okay, means option statement number A is correct. Okay, second, mixture of chloroform and acetone shows negative deviation from the Raoult's law. Yeah, this statement is also correct because chloroform and acetone, the reaction with chloroform and acetone, that will create a negative deviation from the route. So this option is also correct. Mix of aniline and phenol shows positive deviation. No, this is also an example of negative deviation. Okay, there is a list of negative and positive deviation. I will be uploading that video as well, where I will tell you all the solution which makes negative deviation and which makes positive deviation. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option number A and B. Option number second. Okay, easy question. Moving on to the next question. Okay, moving on to the question number 70. This question is also from the chapter electrochemistry. See the question. For a salt XY, which is a strong electrolyte, the plot of lambda m versus root C has a slope of minus 90 at 298 Kelvin. Okay, at 0.01 molar concentration of XY, the value of lambda m is 145. You need to tell the limiting molar conductivity of Y minus ion. Okay, so see, generally this type of questions are based on an equation. You know, it is in NCRT, Huckel-Onsager equation. What does that equation states? For a strong electrolyte, that equation is for strong electrolyte. It states that lambda of the ion. What is the salt? I'm sorry, lambda for the salt. It is xy. So we will know xy. Lambda is equal to lambda naught xy minus of b root c. If you plot a graph between lambda xy and root c, it will be a straight line with a negative slope. Now here you have been given that slope is okay, guys. Going on to the next question. The next question is from the chapter electrochemistry. Okay. This question is based on the equation named as Huckel-Onsager equation. Okay. Question is saying for a salt xy, which is a strong electrolyte, the plot of lambda m versus root c has a slope of minus 90. Okay, and it's saying at 0.01 molar concentration of xy, the value of the lambda m is 145 Simon centimeters. Okay, it will tell the limiting molar conductivity value for the y minus i. So if you see this, we have been given that the for x plus ion it is 174. Okay, for a strong electrolyte, if you plot the lambda m versus root c, then the equation come up to be like lambda m is equals to lambda naught m. M denotes generally the salt minus of p root c. If you plot the graph between this lambda xy and root c, it is coming out to be a straight line with negative slope. Okay, and slope is b. Now, if you see the slope is given minus 90. So if you compare from this equation, minus b is equals to minus 90. So b cancels. So b is coming out to be a 90. Means slope is 90. And you have been given concentration 0.01. This is the concentration. And you have been given lambda xy. Yeah, lambda xy, that is 145. You can take out lambda naught m here. Okay, lambda naught xy will be what? Lambda xy plus b root c. It will be lambda xy will be 145 plus b is 90 and root 0.01 is 10 upon 10 means 1 by 10 upon 1 by 10. So this will be this. So it will be what? 154. Yeah, 154. Okay, Simon centimeter square. This is the value for lambda naught xy. Means limiting molar conductivity at infinite dilution. It is denoted by that. Now you need what? You need to tell the limiting molar conductivity of y minus ion. How can you tell? You know one law we have studied in electrochemistry. That law is generally is known for taking out the limiting molar conductivity. It is known as Kohlrausch law. Clear? So according to Kohlrausch law, if we say then for lambda naught xy, it will dissociate into lambda naught of x plus lambda naught of y minus. This is the basic Kohlrausch law. Now you can substitute all the values here. So 154 is equals to, for x you have been given 74 plus lambda naught y minus. So lambda naught y minus is this will be 154 and 74 as 80. So 80 is your final answer on this question. So option number second is the answer. So 80 Simon meter square mole inverse. Okay, this is the answer 80. Okay, so this was an easy question. Basic, you have to use this Huckel on Seller equation and Kohlrausch law. Your question is solved. Okay, moving on to the next question.